Welcome. Today we're going to be focusing on sections 8.3 and 8.4 on multiplying polynomials. So let's take a look at example 1. It's saying find each product. Well, we have two polynomials, 2x plus 3 and x plus 5 that we're multiplying together. Now we're just going to take a little sidebar because as of right now we don't know how to multiply two polynomials by each other. But if you remember in the past, if I gave you a problem very similar to this one, there was 2x plus 3, I took the first polynomial for this problem, but instead of multiplying it by another polynomial, I just multiplied it by the constant 7, then I could use a distributive property, right? I distribute that 7 in, which would give me 2x times 7 plus 3 times 7. And I could do that product easily. Well, we are going to do the same thing with two polynomials. Instead of a constant, here we have a polynomial, but we are still going to distribute that whole polynomial to each of the terms in my first polynomial. We're going to call this a horizontal method because it's going to work out horizontally. You can also think of it as a distributive method because you're also going to distribute. So we're going to use a distributive property a lot today. So I'm going to distribute x plus 5, that whole polynomial, to 2x, giving me 2x times x plus 5. Plus, I'm distributing that x plus 5 to 3, so I have plus 3 times x plus 5. Then again, this is stuff you know already. Then you just get to use the distributive property some more. Distribute 2x into that polynomial, x plus 5, 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times 5 is 10x. Plus, let's see, 3 times x is 3x. Plus 3 times 5 is 15. Our last step is combine like terms. Those are both x's, so our final answer is going to be 2x squared plus, well, 10x plus 3x is 13x plus 15. Okay, let's do another example using this method. Again, here are my two polynomials. I'm going to take this polynomial right here. I'm going to distribute it in first to that first term of my polynomial. So I get x times 3x plus 4. And then to my second term in that polynomial. Now be careful, this is a minus 2, so this is going to be minus 2 times 3x plus 4. Now I get to use my distributive property. X times 3x is 3x squared. X times 4 is 4x. That negative 2 times 3x is negative 6x. And that negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Combine like terms, I have two x's here. My final answer becomes 3x squared minus 2x minus 8. I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to teach you a new way to multiply polynomials. This is a little bit of a shortcut. So if we actually, I'm going to go back to my slide right here. I'm going to talk about this one for a second. The key with multiplying polynomials is we need to make sure we multiply every single term in each of the polynomials by each other. So there's two terms in the first polynomial, and I need to make sure both of those two terms are multiplied by both of the terms in the next one. In multiplication problems where each polynomial has two terms, I have to do 4 multiplication problems. And you can kind of see that right here. I have to do x times 4, x times 3x, negative 2 times 4, negative 2 times 3x. This horizontal method is just one way of organizing to make sure that you do all 4 of the multiplication problems that you need to. So the second method we're going to learn is the FOIL method, and it's just another way of organizing your multiplication problems to make sure that you do all 4 of them in the two-term polynomial products. So FOIL stands for first, outside, inside, last. So first means we're going to multiply the first terms in each polynomials together. So I'm going to do 3m times m, that's 3m squared. Then I'm going to do the outside terms, that's 3m times 5. 3m times 5 is 15m. Then I'm going to do the inside. Here's my two inside terms. 4 times m, that's 4m. And then I'm going to do my last term. So that's 4, and that's 5. 4 times 5 is 20. I'm going to finish it off with combining my like terms. I have a 15m, I have a 4m. So my final answer is going to be 3m squared plus 19m plus 20. This is just a quicker way than the horizontal method. Okay, let's try it again. Remember, I'm going to write FOIL up here. FOIL first, outside, inside, last. So again, first, that would be 2y times 3y. That is 6y squared. Then I'm going to do the outside. Outside terms are going to be my 2y and my 5. They're on the outside of this whole problem. 2y times 5 is 10y. Then I'm going to do my inside, which is my negative 7. Be careful that negative goes with the 7. Negative 7 and 3y, which is negative 21y. And then lastly, my last terms. The last terms in each of the polynomials. So that's 7 and that 5. So negative 7 times 5, that's negative 35. Last step, combining like terms. One thing I really like about the FOIL method is it usually sets it up really nicely. So my two like terms are in the middle, making it really easy for me to combine like terms. My final answer is going to be 6y squared. Let's see, 10y minus 20y, that's 21y. That's negative 11y. So minus 11y minus 35. Okay, we are going to apply this to a word problem. So a contractor is building a deck around a rectangular pool measuring 15 feet by 20 feet. The deck is x feet from every side of the pool. Write an expression for the total area of the pool and the deck. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start by drawing a picture. So right here, let's see, I'm going to have this be my pool. And let's see, here can be my deck. Okay, so let's see. The pool is 15 feet by 20 feet, so let's see, is 15 feet by 20 feet. And let's see, the deck is x feet from every side of the pool. So that means this is x, this is x, this is x, and this is x. Write an expression for the total area of the pool and the deck. Well, the total area of the pool and the deck would be this rectangle, right? Whatever that length is, times that length. The total area, it's a whole entire rectangle. So let's see. Let's start with this length right here, that bottom length. Well, what is that? Well, that is x plus 20 plus x. Whoops, I forgot to label this second x. So that's x plus 20 plus x, or 2x plus 20 when we combine like terms. Now this length here, our vertical length, that is going to be x plus 15 plus x, or when we combine like terms, 2x plus 15. Now then, write an expression for the total area. That is both of our polynomials multiplied by each other. So that's 2x plus 20 times 2x plus 15. I want you right now to pause this video, either use the horizontal method or the FOIL method, whatever one that you prefer. They're both going to get you the right answer. I want you to multiply both those polynomials. In a moment, we'll go over this. Okay, let's go over this. I'm going to use the FOIL method because it's a little bit quicker. FOIL is saying I'm going to do my first terms first. So 2x times 2x is 4x squared. Then I'm going to do my outside terms. 2x times 15 is 30x. Then I'm going to do my inside terms. 20 times 2x is 40x. And then finally my last terms, 20 times 15, that's 300. Let's see, here are my like terms. So when I combine like terms and write my final answer, that's going to be 4x squared plus 70x plus 300. Final answer right there. Okay. Now sometimes the FOIL method doesn't always work. That's why I taught you the horizontal method first. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to be still multiplying polynomials, but our polynomials aren't just going to be 3-term polynomials. In this case, we have a 2-term polynomial and a 3-term polynomial. And if you try to do FOIL on this one, you would end up multiplying the first terms, the outside terms, the inside terms, and the last terms, and you'll see that you forgot to multiply this negative 3x by anything. So FOIL doesn't work. You can only do the FOIL method if it's 2 terms by 2 terms. In this method, we're going to do, because this is a 2 terms by 3 terms, we're going to do the horizontal method. And it works just the same as when it was 2 terms by 3 terms. We're going to take this whole polynomial right here. We're first going to distribute to the 6x, giving us 6x times 2x squared minus 3x minus 5. And then we're going to distribute that whole polynomial to that 5. So plus 5 times 2x squared minus 8x minus 5. Then again, we get to do a lot of distributing. So 6x times 2x squared is going to be 12x cubed. 6x times minus 3x, so minus 18x squared. And then 6x minus 5, that's going to be a negative 30x. Then we have 5 times 2x squared, so plus 10x squared. 5 times, always watch for the negatives, 5 times negative 3x is negative 15x. And 5 times negative 5 is negative 25. Next, we get to combine like terms. I like to just take a minute, think back to when you first learned to combine like terms. I'm going to say, okay, I have, let's see, this is an x cubed. Let's see, I don't have any other x cubes. I have this x squared, and let's see, this x squared, those are my only 2. This, just an x. This is just an x. And let's see, this is my only constant. Now I'm going to rewrite it. I have 12x cubed. Let's see, then my x squareds, I have that negative 18x squared and a plus 10x squared. When I add those together, I'm left with just a negative 8x squared. Then my x's, I have a negative 30x minus 15x for a total of negative 45x. And finally, just my minus 25. And there's my final answer. Remember, this is just the same as the horizontal method. Just like we were doing at the beginning of this video, we just have a 2-term polynomial that we're distributing instead of a 3-term polynomial instead of a 2-term. Okay, I want you to try this one on your own. Pause the video. and we'll talk about afterwards. Remember, use a horizontal method, not FOIL. Okay, let's talk about this. I have this big polynomial right here, 2x squared plus 7x minus 18. I'm going to distribute it first to my first term in the polynomial, so 3x times 2x squared plus 7x minus 8. And then to my second term, my polynomial, that minus 5. So minus 5, 2x squared plus 7x minus 8. Okay, so, and then taking a look at this, I have to use the distributive property even more, distribute the 3x to the 2x squared. That when I multiply those, I get 6x cubed. Then 3x times 7x is a plus 21x squared. 3x times negative 8, negative 24x. Then, remember, be careful, this is a negative 5, so negative 5 times 2x squared is negative 10x squared. Negative 5 times 7x is negative 35x. And negative 5 times negative 8 is positive 40. Negative times negative is a positive. I'm going to go through and I'm going to combine like terms. So let's see, I have a 6x cubed. Those are my only x cubed. I have 21x squared, negative 10x squared. I have negative 24x, negative 35x. And I have just my constant 40 at the end. So let's see, I'm going to rewrite this. 6x cubed plus, well, my x squareds, I have 21x squared. I have negative 10x squared, so that's a total of 11x squared when I add them together. I have negative 24x minus 35x. Negative 24x minus 35x is negative 59x. And at the end, I just have my plus 40. Okay, now find the product when I have a 3-term polynomial times a 3-term polynomial. You guessed it, we are going to keep using the horizontal method. I'm going to take my whole 3-term polynomial, and I'm first going to distribute to my first term in that polynomial. So that's 2y squared times 3y squared minus 5y plus 2. Then I'm going to distribute it to my second term, plus 3y times 3y squared minus 5y plus 2. And then lastly to that third term in that polynomial. And remember, this is a negative 1. Minus 1, 3y squared minus 5y plus 2. And I get to use a distributive property many, many times. So 2y squared times 3y squared, that's 6y to the 4th. Remember, y squared times y squared, we use those exponent rules, that's y to the 4th. 2y squared times minus 5y is negative 10y cubed. And 2y squared times 2 is 4y squared. And we have 3y times 3y squared, that's 9y cubed. 3y times negative 5y is negative 15y squared, and 3y times 2 is 6. Whoops. There we go, 6y. And lastly, remember this is a minus 1 and negative 1, so negative 1 times 3y is negative 3y squared. Negative 1 times negative 5y plus 5y, and negative 1 times 2 is minus 2. Those are a lot of terms, so we got to combine like terms again. So where are my y to the 4ths? Well, that's my only one. Where are my y cubes? This one, and let's see, I think those are the only two. Where are my y squareds? Right here, right here, right here. Where are my y's? Right here, and just my constants, my numbers, without a variable. Right there. So my final answer is going to be 6y to the 4th let's see my y cubed. I have a negative 10y cubed and a 9y cubed. When I add those together, that's just negative y cubed. And then I have a 4y minus 4y squared minus 15y squared plus 3y squared. When I add those together, I should get negative 14y squared. Let's see, to make it easier, I can cross off what I've already added. I have my 6y plus my 5y. That's 11y. And I'm just left with my minus 2. There we go. Okay, here we have one more 3-term polynomial times a 3-term polynomial. I want you to try this on your own. We're going to check your answers in a moment. Pause this video so you have time to work on it. Okay, let's go over this. I have this whole 3-term polynomial, and I'm going to distribute it to each term of the first polynomial. So that's m squared times 4m squared minus 7m plus 5. Distribute it to the second term. That's a plus 2m times 4m squared minus 7m plus 5. And to the third term, and remember this is a minus 3. Minus 3, 4m squared minus 7m plus 5. Then I'm going to use my distributive property. M squared times 4m squared is 4m to the fourth. M squared times negative 7m is going to be, let's see, I'm going to write that, there's the fourth, minus 7m squared. And then m squared times 5 is, whoops, I messed up. Let's go back. M squared times negative 7m is negative 7m cubed. And then m squared times 5 is plus 5m squared. Then 2m times 4m squared is plus an 8m cubed. 2m times negative 7m is going to be 2m times negative 7m is minus 14m squared. And 2m times 5 is going to be plus 10m. Negative 3 times 4m squared is minus 12m squared. Negative 3 times negative 7, that's going to be a plus 21m, because negative times negative is positive. And negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. Now combining like terms, here's my m to the fourth term. Let's see, my m cubes here, here, and let's see, those are my only two. My m squareds are right here, and right here, and right here. My m's right here, and then finally just my constants right here. Now, just time to write the final answer. My m to the fourth, that's just 4m to the fourth. My m cubed, negative 7m cubed plus 8m cubed, that's just 1m cubed, or m cubed. So we added those terms. My 5m squared minus 14m squared minus 12m squared. Let's see, that is a total of minus 21m squared when you add them all together. 10m plus 21m is 31m. And finally, that minus 15. Okay, we have two more problems just to finish this off. So the first one we're going to do is 3x plus 5 squared. Now the biggest mistake that I see students make, and I still see them do this even in advanced math classes when they get higher up into like juniors, seniors in high school. I even see some college students do this. They see that 2 right there, and their first gut instinct is to go like this, distribute that 2 in, and get 3x squared plus 5 squared. This is wrong. You have to think back to what you know about things being squared. That means you're multiplying it by itself. So 3x plus 5 squared really means 3x plus 5 times 3x plus 5. Now again, we can FOIL this to get our answer. Now I'm going to write out this answer a little bit differently than before. You'll see why at the end. So FOIL first. Let's see. That 3x times 3x, that's the same as, right, 3x squared, right? 3x times 3x. Outside, 3x times 5. So that's, let's see, I'm going to write plus 3x times 5. Inside, that's another plus 3x times 5. And last, 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is the same as 5 squared, right? I'm going to rewrite this one more time. We'll do a final answer second. So that's 3x squared, 3x squared, plus, well, I have 2 3x times 5, right? So that's plus 2 times 3x plus 5 plus 5 squared. Now you'll see, and this is why I wrote it this way, is I have a 3x and a 3x. That's right here. I have 5 and a 5, that 5 is right here. Now, every single find products where it is a polynomial that has two terms squared is always going to follow this pattern of, and this pattern is going to actually be, I'm going to write it right here, a squared plus 2ab plus b squared, where our original problem was a plus b squared. So in this case, our 3x was our a, our b was at 5, we got a squared 3x times 2 times, whoops, this is supposed to be multiple sign, 2 times ab plus b squared. Now, after this step, you would want to actually finish the multiplication. 3x squared is the same as 9x squared plus 2 times 3x times 5. Well, that would be 30x plus 5 squared is 25. So when given problems where you have a two-term polynomial that's squared, you could FOIL, you could do the horizontal method, or you could use this little trick of a plus b squared is the same as a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. This is just quicker. And if you want to know exactly how we go from a plus b squared to a squared plus 2ab plus b squared, well, that's just the same if I go down here, a plus b squared. If I just do FOIL, that's, let's see, a plus b times a plus, whoops, b. Well, first, let's see what color first, whoops, that was supposed to go right there. It's a squared plus outside is ab, inside is ab, and outside is b squared, which is a squared plus, oh, I have 2ab, so 2ab plus b squared. That's how I get there. But this is just a quicker trick because it ends up being a lot quicker than writing it or expanding it and foiling. So let's apply this a plus b squared is the same as a squared plus 2ab plus b squared to problem number b. So let's see. It is also a two-term polynomial squared. If I wanted to FOIL it, I could write it out as 2x minus 5y times 2x minus 5y. I'm not right now. Instead, I'm going to use this method right here. So right here, this 2x, that's my a term. Now be careful, my b term is negative 5y. It is at negative 5y. I could, if I wanted to, I could rewrite this as 2x plus and negative 5y. That makes it squared. That makes it a little bit more clear that this right here is our b term, because remember it's a plus b. So I don't want a to be 2x and b to be 5y. This right here is not a plus, so then I need to change that to a plus and negative 5y. So my b is negative 5y. Then let's see, my product is going to be, let's see, a squared. So a is 2x, so I'm going to do 2x squared plus 2 times ab, 2 times, well, a is 2x, b is negative 5y, plus b squared, well, that's negative 5y squared. Now, I just have one more step I need to finish my multiplying. 2x squared is 4x squared, because I have to do 2 squared and x squared, plus, well, 2 times 2x times negative 5, well, let's see, 2 times 2x, that's 4x, and then if we times it by negative 5y, that is giving us a total of negative 20xy plus negative 20xy plus negative 5y squared. Well, we need to square both terms here because they're multiplying. Negative 5 squared is 25. That's when we square a negative, it becomes positive. And y squared is just y squared. So right here is my final answer. If you're more comfortable using the FOIL method, you can always use a FOIL method, but a plus b squared equals a squared plus 2ab plus b squared is a lot quicker, and you'll find out in the future that it's really easy to use with your polynomials. Now that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching.